All right, Watsonville, 2018, P12 field. I like this course a lot. I raced it in 2010, I want to say, maybe even 2009 as a Cat 5. It was one of my first crits outside of training races, and I got second, and I thought I was hot shit. And I just really like this course. It goes through these neighborhoods in Watsonville, and it's really technical. There's always people out cheering you on too, which is kind of cool. And it's got this this tailwind, slightly uphill finish. It's just perfect for me. But it's always a reduced field that comes down to the finish. So it's a Velo promo race. It's been around for a long time. I don't have the webpage open, but probably like all the other Velo promo races, it's got a storied history. Probably 30th year or something like that. Like Santa Cruz, Classic Criterium, like a lot of these other big crits around. So I've always wanted to win it, and I never have. We showed up today with a lot of our elite guys, and it's a smaller field, but a classy field. A lot of really strong guys showed up. Cycle Sport came with their strong guys that are doing really well this year in the P12 field, and then Tobin, a rare appearance by Tobin. He's a Donkey Label Racing pro cyclocross racer who usually just wins every crit he joins, especially technical ones like this. But our plan was to attack early and often, make sure that he was on the back foot and the Cycle Sport guys were on the back foot, and we started that from minute 1. All right, moving forward here, we're about halfway through the race now. It's been really aggressive. At the moment, got teammate Matt Mikulski off the front like a boss, making the field chase, and really I could have started this clip like 10 or 15 minutes earlier. We just were doing our counter-attack thing and dictating the terms of the race. So Matt's off the front right now, but once he gets caught, the next one goes. And then once that one gets caught, the next one goes, and we're always represented in it. So here's an awesome example of just a slingshot. So Matt was caught, and I didn't even really have to put in that big of an effort, 500 watts or something for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden got a big gap on the field, and that's the whole point. I mean, we're just making them chase us down, and sure, we get a little bit tired, but our competition gets a little bit tired too, and if we just keep up with the counter-attack, then eventually the right mix of riders is going to get away, and until we're happy with that mix. And again, there goes Dave. So now somebody's got to chase, and we got Cycle Sport on the front, constantly chasing, which is all according to plan. So I kind of sit up here, and I'm trying to move back just a little bit. I don't really like being towards the front. I think a better position when you have a teammate off the front is maybe 5th or 6th wheel, something like that. So I'm just coasting right here, 5th or 6th wheel, and that way you can get that slingshot effect that I did just a minute ago. Otherwise, if you're like 2nd wheel and you got a teammate up the road, somebody that's going to attack and try to bridge, if they do it right, they're going to come from maybe 5th, 6th, 8th wheel, and they're going to come flying past you if you're sitting 2nd, and it's really hard to respond to that. So it's really twofold when you're back here, getting a little bit of a better draft, and also you can respond better to the attacks, and as an added bonus, you get that slingshot effect. When the front starts to slow down, you can just carry that speed. So here's a good example of that. Chaz is super fast. He's with Cycle Sport. I'm going to follow that. And actually, Chaz has a cool channel I've been following. I'll post a link in the description, so check that out. Chaz makes some really smart videos about training and stuff, and you guys should all watch his weekly videos on that. So here goes Chaz putting in a big dig, and he means business, and that's the tailwind section, and it hurts. You see my heart rate's jacked up. And we're about to catch Dave here, and I just carry that speed, and I just continue going here, because I'm looking back and I'm seeing the field now is in ribbons, and it's not quite as they say, the elastic hasn't quite snapped yet, but when I'm looking back, I see it is single file, and there are a bunch of little mini gaps starting to open up. So it's coming. We're halfway through the race. It's been super aggressive like this, and the split's coming. All it takes is one or two tired riders to think, you know, I don't want to follow that wheel in front of me anymore, and all of a sudden a gap opens up, and once a gap opens up and it establishes a few bike lengths, turns into a few seconds, turns into 10 seconds, and then that's how the break gets made. So I'm just driving it here. Well, actually I just stopped and now I'm asking Chaz to pull through. It's looking good, and Dave, perfect timing. Dave doing that kind of slingshot effect that I was describing a minute ago. And Dave's just strong too. That helps, because he just got caught from a break. So he's just going again because that's Dave, and he identifies those moments in the race really well. So I'm not doing any work here. Making them chase. There they go. Got teammates that are on it, which is fantastic. And I don't have to do this big surge of power. Attack, counterattack. Guys, it works. Dave's off the front solo. And people don't want Dave to be off the front solo. Dave's a strong guy. He could come in and win it like that, even this far out, if people are tired. So I'm in the perfect position now, and I have a couple of other teammates in the perfect position to respond to the counterattack. If Dave gets caught, then the counterattack goes. And again, like just until the right mix gets up the road, then this is just going to continue. And this really slow and then really fast style of racing hurts. It wears you down. Usually at this point in the race, things are starting to establish themselves, and you'll start to see some of the breakaway guys get towards the front, start responding to this really surgy style of racing. So it's looking like Dave is about to get caught, and I'm in that slingshot position. So everyone's coasting here because Dave was caught, and this is just perfect timing for me because this is the tailwind hill section. So I put a big attack in, and I got Bobby Terra on my wheel, and he's super fast. We've been in so many breakaways together this year, so I know that he knows how to ride a breakaway, and he's willing to work. I'm happy about that. So I'm thinking this is looking pretty good right here, because at the very least, we've got a gap now. At the very least, I'm going to make Cycle Sport, I'm going to make Tobin chase, and then maybe a teammate will be able to counter. But then I look back, and when I check the gap, I notice there's a Cycle Sport rider who came across too. So this is even better for the likelihood of this breakaway succeeding, because now we have the two big teams in this race represented in this breakaway: Cycle Sport and then us, Tabor Elite, and plus Bobby. Bobby not back there chasing us back, because Bobby can do that. He's fast. So yeah, it's important that Cycle Sport stays with us, and he's pretty tired because he made that big bridge effort to come up to us. So I'm okay. I just gave him some words of encouragement there, but it's important that he stays with us, because if he drops back to the field, then they're going to organize a chase, and then Bobby and my chances are doomed. So, but we're committed now. I mean, I'm putting my I'm screaming at this guy. There's just some wandering dude on the course who was thinking about walking right in front of us. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, this is the right mix right here. So we got Cycle Sport represented, we have Bobby represented, and now we're committed to the chase. And this is important too, for all you guys wondering, you know, how to stick a breakaway. You got to commit to it. Like if it doesn't hurt, you're not doing it right. And this one hurt. Trust me. Look at my heart rate right now. That is above threshold. So we're committing to it, especially early on. You establish your gap, and everyone's got to be working. All right, jumping forward again. we are towards the end of this race here. I think it's about 3 laps to go. This breakaway of 3, we've established a big gap, big 45-second gap, and we've all been working well together. Everyone's taking turns doing their work, and yeah, just the closing laps here. So it's an important play. Oh, so actually here goes Bobby putting in a dig. He doesn't want me to be there with him. I've out sprinted him in a breakaway before, and we have a big enough gap now. Even with 3 laps to go, the games can start. Which is what I was about to say is you got to judge that right, because if you're nursing a 15-second gap or some slim margin, and you start playing games, attacking each other and stuff like that with 15 laps to go, that's the best way to ruin a breakaway, is to start skipping poles or trying to attack, which is cool. I mean, if you don't like your chances in that group of 3, then by all means, sit at the back and rest. Let the other guys work, or save your energy and go for a long one. Make them chase you, make them get tired. But you got to be aware that in a race like this, where there's strong guys behind who are putting up a hard chase, you might roll the dice on your chances of even getting third. If there's too much messing around the last few laps, then you might get caught from behind and go from securing a top 3 to maybe just finishing with a field. It gets really dynamic towards the end, and that's why I decided to share the last few minutes of this race, because we get a little bit of cat and mouse going, and it's a lot of fun, and you'll see how it plays out, because we got Tobin, we have some other guys chasing behind who are really strong, and I was concerned that we were going to get caught, even though we have this big gap, just because of the strength of the guys behind who weren't represented in this breakaway. But you see, we continue on taking our turns, and we all kind of knocked the pace off a little bit before the game started. Like, this isn't the speed, not even really close to the speed that we were going when we first established our breakaway. But I kind of put my head down, and I'm still doing a pretty hard effort because I like my chances out of this group of 3. I don't want to get caught. I feel pretty confident out of this group. So coming up the tailwind again, a tailwind finish. So this suits me really well. Let's see how many laps we have left here. Oh, this is it. This is one to go. All right, bell lap. This is one to go. That's why we were going so slow. So yeah, I'm doing just enough work to stay away. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. I'm doing just enough work to stay away from the people chasing in the closing laps, but not so much that I'm wearing myself out. I'm gonna get beat in the sprint. That's the ideal speed. It's just enough to stay away, not so much that you're gonna get beat in the sprint, or you're not gonna be able to respond to some late race attack. But now we're in the last lap, and I'm not letting anything get away in the last lap. In fact, I'm not doing any more poles here in the last lap. But you can see we're going 20 miles an hour. And I am just sitting at the back in the perfect position to respond to any really late race shenanigans that might happen. If Bobby tries to go super early, I don't want to be in a position where he comes flying past me with speed. So this is a good position right here. We actually cut it pretty close to our 45-second gap, turned into a 5 or 10-second gap just in the last lap. So I had my head on a swivel basically this entire last lap. And I thought about going right there. That moment when they swung to the right, that was awkward, and I was thinking about going right there. But Bobby's got a pretty big jump. Oh, and there he goes. So I need to close this down. That was a pretty good jump from Bobby, but now I'm on him before the last corner here, and I can take just a second of a breath here, and then come up this tailwind sprint, and hadn't still enough left in the tank to come around for the win. So super happy to win Watsonville, man. This has been an elusive one. I feel like I always either miss the move or I'm just so exhausted at the end. But man, I was happy with this finish, and the team just raced so perfectly. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you at the next one.